I've been concerned about the opening prayer that opens our town meetings. And I have seen some case law with regard to what is permitted and what is not permitted. I'm uncomfortable with at least two of the opening prayers that have been voiced so far this calendar year. I believe they are in violation of what statutory requirements are. I would ask that the town attorney maybe comment on this in terms of his understanding of what is permitted in an opening prayer and what is not, please.
Well, there have been cases that have found that that is a problem in terms of the separation of church and state, to have particularly religious opening invocation or prayer at a government meeting. What the law does and doesn't allow, and that seems to change with each new case in terms of what exactly has been said. But I will agree that it has been something that has been a source of concern, and that folks have been successful in bringing cases saying that it is an impermissible blending of the government and religion to have a really religious invocation.
Let me address that issue, if I may. Before conducting an invocation, I consulted with David Lawrence. This is dated November 14th, 2007. I think that dates back to when I became the mayor. Subject, glad you brought it up. I'm glad I kept this in my book. Prayer during meetings. There is no statute, but there are a good number of federal court cases, as you said. It is constitutional to have a prayer, but it must be a very narrow sort of prayer. Basically, it can appeal to God, but it cannot name any God or other divine figure of a particular religion. To be more specific, a council can open a session with a prayer, but it may not be a Christian prayer. That is, it may not name Christ or Jesus. I have made every attempt to follow this statute. I have, because I have for as long as my life, as long as I've been alive, I've prayed a certain way and ended it in a certain way, and it's hard to change after 40 years or more of praying in a certain way. I have tried to, as this law stated, to narrow, and I think I today ended it in his name. And that can be whatever name you choose to insert it there. For me, I have a special name, and I'm not ashamed of it. Thank you.
You've already read to us the ground rules. Today's prayer was fine. Today's prayer was fine. If you just stay away from, and what Jerry's saying, is reciting the Lord's Prayer with everybody in here, or naming Jesus, or naming a sectarian prayer, we don't have a problem. What Jerry is saying is, if somebody in the audience took exception to that, they could turn around and sue us. And that's all that he's saying.
But I'm telling you how I feel. And as a taxpayer, if I want to hear a prayer at my town meeting, I have the right to hear it, just as much as the people who don't want to hear it have a right not to hear it. They can leave.
No. That's
Okay?
not it.
And you know what? I know according to the law what it says, but I have that right to be able to come to a meeting and hear what you said. I am not offended by what you said, and I will stand up for my faith and my religion, and I don't care who's offended, and if I'm right or wrong, or what the law says. That's my feeling, that's my belief. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to say is that
Excuse me, Ms. Carpowitz.
Yes.
You missed the whole point.
No, I didn't miss
Yes,
the
you did.
point.
You missed the whole point. We are not saying that the mayor cannot say
I didn't say
prayer,
you did. I'm saying
okay?
that if
We
he
did not say
said
that
it
he
in
can't
August,
use the
why
name.
wasn't it brought up in August?
We didn't say he can't use the name God.
Yeah, now-
What we said was his prayers
take my picture.
cannot be sectarian prayers. Jesus cannot be in it, and you can't say.
I
the Lord's
understand
Prayer.
that, Tom. I'm not
Okay.
ignorant, and that's not what I said. I said that if this happened, if he said the Lord's Prayer in August, and I happened to be at that meeting, if he said that prayer in August, why wasn't it addressed to him then and there? Why wait till 3 months later to address it, number one? And number two, if somebody was offended in August, I'm sure they would have spoke up by now.
Praying is talking to his best friend, who happens to be the great God of the universe, who amazingly desires each of us to talk to him on a regular basis. Anyone who opposes the mayor's invocations shows that he does not know this God in the same intimate way, or perhaps that he denies there is a God and that each of us is accountable to him. Carolina Shores and our leadership need God's guidance and wisdom more than ever, and I would hate to see us eliminate calling on God for his help before each town hall meeting.
I'd just like to answer one lady's question why Mr. Dale waited so long to bring this up. If he would have brought it up 4 months ago to stop the prayers in here, he wouldn't have got 100 votes, much less the 200 something. So it's, and anybody else, you're coming up next. You're up next.
I got 2 years yet, Jack.
2 years.
Good.
Next speaker.
Dirty now. Nasty, nasty.
Mike Riccitelli, 3 Pinewood Drive in Carolina Shores. I've been coming to several meetings here, and I can't tell you how appalled I am at the conduct of you people sitting on this commissioners, staff here, the vendettas, being vindictive. I mean, I thought you gentlemen were put here by the votes to be professional, to care for the citizens of Carolina Shore, but it looks like you want to kill each other, and I don't know why you can't just work together and take your animosity someplace else where we don't have to be shown it or be a privilege to it. I do want to thank Mr. Dale for his tireless effort in the community. I hope he's just as gracious on his loss as he was on his wins, and that he respects the will of the people here. And I wish the new commissioners will have a different approach, not to subject the citizens of Carolina Shore to these atrocities here.